Welcome to the Connected Leaders Academy virtual conference designed to reshape your vision of transformation. As we navigate the evolving business landscape, our speakers will unveil innovative strategies to manage and initiate change. Prepare to adapt, innovate, and lead, ensuring your role in this transformative era.
Welcome. Thank you for joining me on how to overcome fear for breakthrough. My name's Tammy Freeman. I'm a Christian author, speaker, and entrepreneur, and I struggle with fear for so long. I mean, decades. Decades. It was horrible. I mean, it wasn't just a little bit of fear, it was just crippling. I grew up with a lot of trauma, abuse, and well, that went into adulthood. So I was pretty much afraid of everything: fear of the dark, fear of people, fear of rejection. The list goes on. And unfortunately, that just made me not want to do anything that even seemed like it might be risky, right? I think some people probably have been through something like that. So it got to the point where I was afraid to do anything. And even after I got saved as an adult, I still had problems with that. I was still struggling with it. And the Lord kept opening the door for these great opportunities for me to go to different places like management, just different opportunities. And as soon as I found out that it had something to do with, I don't know, speaking in front of people or doing things that were challenging, that fear of failure thing kicked in, fear of people speaking, whatever it was, and I would find a way to skedaddle, right? It wasn't good. So after so much time of this, the Lord and His love and mercy finally just had to cut off everything because I kept choosing these things that were beneath what the purpose that He had for me. So finally, He was like, all right, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to cut everything off. And it was like Job, where he said the thing that he feared the most came upon him. And that was me when I lost just everything and I was homeless for like 8 months. And this wasn't a long time ago. This was about 6 years ago. And it was actually, I mean, it was a little traumatic, but it was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me because I got to the place that I was so fearful of. Um, and that's where I learned how to trust him. And then it was like I got past the worst fear. I got put in a place where I had to trust him and had to, get up out of there. And it was also like being a prophet uh, Jonah, like how he kept running away from God because he didn't like the answer. He didn't like the way God was doing something. And I didn't like the thought of having to be challenged and face my fears. So I finally had to, you know, get into the belly of the whale and then get spit out. So it was all a good thing. All that to say that, I understand how fear can control your life. And I got to that place where I was like, okay, dug myself out of there, right? God got me out. I was, working at a bank. I was doing things that would have normally scared me. I ended up um working, believe it or not, working as a car salesman. Another thing that terrified me. But he had me go through these steps to start getting comfortable talking to people and getting in front of people and getting past these fears because he had a big plan for me. And he has a big plan for you. And there may be like steps in the plan that don't seem that, I don't know, exciting, or maybe you don't think that you want to go that way. It's probably the way you need to go. And I was so happy about getting out of there. And as some of you, I'm sure, you reached a certain level where you're like, oh, wow, this is great. I'm definitely further up than I was before. So I started feeling good about myself, doing the bank job, getting another job, like getting up further than I was. But unfortunately, that's not where I was supposed to stop. And I think with a lot of us, we get comfortable in a certain place. And even though God helped me to confront my fears and embrace risks to a certain level, I still kind of was not going further up. And I think that's where a lot of people hit that spot. I mean, I never imagined that I would be an award-winning author, speaker, and entrepreneur right now, but that was the Lord, and that was facing kind of baby step to risk taking, right? Um, but again, I just want to make sure that I help you not get stuck at a certain level because the fear of losing what you've accomplished starts to get greater than that great goal you used to have. You know what I'm saying? I think some of you probably do. So I want to help you break through that comfort zone. I want to help you overcome fears so you can step into the next phase of your journey. Next phase. We're gonna we're gonna push through our fears, trust God, take action, and see the incredible things that He has waiting on the other side for you, like He does for me. So I want you to remember one of my favorite scriptures, and the one that's helped me is God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. We have the mind of Christ. All right, so we're going to start with identifying fear going to the next level, the comfort zone. Oh, the comfort zone. That's one of the scariest things because that's where you start feeling kind of safe and secure, right? Oh, this is a good spot. I'm better than I was, 5 years ago. It's not too scary. I know what to expect from this place. I don't have too much rejection. I know my routines. I'm good. I'm good. So, and this place too, the reason why we stay in the comfort zone is we feel like we're in control. Again, we know what to expect. We know what's going on. Nothing surprises us anymore. Outcomes are predictable. You know what I'm saying? And then we have less anxiety because I know for me, like when there was another challenge coming up, like I felt fine until that new challenge, the thing I didn't know how to do, the thing that, might be failure, it might cause failure. Then I'd start the anxiety levels start going up. So sometimes in order for us to not have that anxiety, we don't go to that next level. So we don't want to do that. It's dangerous to stay in your comfort zone because of stagnation, and that prevents growth. If you're not challenged, you're not going to grow, you're not learning new skills, you're not exploring new opportunities. It keeps you stagnant professionally, personally, spiritually. It's not good. Missed opportunities. Just think about, oh my gosh, for me, that was such a huge thing. I just missed so many opportunities. And I got to the place where I started to get scared. Like recently, I was like, what if I die without doing what it is God called me to do? Can I face him at the end and say, oops, I'm sorry. I buried all your gifts and talents because I was scared. I mean, that was just like, nope, nope, I can't miss any more opportunities. I have to get moving. And I got a nice kick in the butt to do it. But I'm glad that he did, right? Limited potential. We're limiting our potential. We're not tapping into even a fraction of what God's placed in us because we don't, want to get out of our comfort zone. We get complacent. Oh, it's just not good. So fear starts to become stronger. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, right? The longer you stay there, the more powerful your fear becomes. And I know it did for me. So that unfamiliar territory outside of the comfort zone starts to look scarier, right? You're like, ooh, I don't know about that. It looked good last year, but it doesn't look so good now. That's not a good place to be. So let's talk about growth and how important growth is. It really only happens when you're uncomfortable, and that's just the way it is. And if you got to the place where you could get past that one fear to get where you are, you already have the strategies and the skills to do it another level. You could do it again. So when you stretch yourself, you start taking risks. Now you have you have more confidence. So that comfort zone is really like a false sense of security, and it protects you maybe from short-term pain, but long-term, it's just messing you up. It's going to mess you up. So we got to grow to the next level of success, right? We got to step outside of our comfort zone and trust God for the journey. If he called you to something, he's going to get you through it. No matter what the devil throws in your way to make it look scary and impossible. But God even says, he's like, look, with man it's impossible, but with God all things are possible. So we got to trust him. Now, in Isaiah 54, 2 through 3, the Lord said to Israel, enlarge the place of your tent. Stretch your tent curtains wide. Don't hold back. Lengthen your cords. Strengthen your stakes, for you will spread out to the right and to the left, right and left. Your descendants will dispossess nations and settle in their desolate cities. So he's talking about enlarging your territory. He's talking about his children, and we're his children too, right? We're his children. He says, look, this is what I have for you. I want you to enlarge what you have. This is what you have now. This is where you need to be. So he's telling us that he wants to enlarge our territory, that we need to do it here first, right? So don't hold back. He's instructing us not to shrink back in fear. He's telling us not to hesitate, not to stay in our comfort zone, but get ready for expansion. Lengthen your cords, strengthen your stakes. It means preparing for growth, not staying stagnant. Strengthen yourself, getting ready. Get your faith to move forward. Remember, it's faith to faith, right? He doesn't tell us just faith. He's saying faith to faith, glory to glory. It means that we have to go to different levels. So he's saying you're going to spread out to the right and to the left. This is a promise of increase. He wants to increase us for breakthrough, not just for ourselves. This isn't just for ourselves. So we have to remember that. This is for our children, our grandchildren, for others, all the people that our story, the things that we overcome is going to affect. They're waiting for us. They're waiting to hear our story. And if we're still here, we can't reach them. So we have to just get ready, get moving, expand. So a lot of times the thing that keeps us, from moving to that next level is the fear of loss, right? We're fear that we're going to lose all the things that we've accomplished thus far. And that was me too. I knew what I lost. I was homeless. Like, I understand that, but after I started gaining some more, I was like, I don't know. But God's like, no, 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 no. Remember that the whole lesson of that was to trust me and not to fear. So I was like, okay. Okay, I'm sorry, Lord. Right. So that was something that I had to make sure I didn't get caught back up in. And I don't want you to either. So Ecclesiastes says, whoever watches the wind and will not plant, whoever looks at the clouds and will not reap, will not reap. So it's telling us that if we're constantly afraid of what's going to happen, we're never going to take action, right? We have to take action. So I want you to think about, are you so focused on maintaining what you have that you're missing out on the next thing? Is that where you are right now? Recognizing it is very important, because this is where you say, okay, enough. So faith versus comfort. Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. So it's not just about believing when times, are tough, that God's going to, do something greater. He's talking faith to faith, glory to glory. We have to take the next step now. The next step is now. Faith is now. Now. So, like Abraham, who left his homeland, I mean, think about, God told him, okay, I want you to go, leave everything you know. Go where? I'll tell you later. Just go. Can you imagine? Just, I can't even imagine, but he trusted him, and we have to trust in his leading. If God's telling us go, then we need to go. And we have to get out of that comfort zone. Don't make this your comfortable place. Just, this is your tent. This is your tent right now. You need to fold it up soon and go to the next place, a bigger place, a better place. Remember that. So now we have to shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. And Philippians 4:19 says, "My God will meet all my needs according to his riches and glory." Let's let's get our scarcity mindset into faith. Now faith. We're not going to lose anything, we're going to gain something. And even if we have to take what we have and use it to get to where we want to go, it's going to be multiplied. Just remember that. It's going to be multiplied. Use that same faith, more faith, actually build upon that faith you used to get to this current level to get to your next one. So we got to embrace God's calling to create impact. Sometimes we have to be reminded of why we're here and why we're doing it. It's not just about us. And I have to remind myself of that all the time. When I start getting like, forget it. It's not just about me. I have something. God gave me something that I went through and overcame to share with others to get them through. If I stay where I am, I can't do that. So, same for you guys. Um, he wants us to make greater impact. And again, that Matthew 25:21 always gets me. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. So he's saying if you're using the ones that you have, he's going to give you more gifts, more talents, more. And if you don't want to be that wicked, lazy servant. I do not want to hear that, right? So he's going to give us more responsibility, more influence, just more. That's what you got to remind yourself. If I stay where I am, I'm not going to get that more, and that more is going to help more people. And then you got to say, okay, well, am I willing to use my business, my platform, my influence to make a difference in a larger scale? Yes, that's always yes. The answer is always yes. Just saying. So let's use some practical steps to mastering the next level. I want to really think about identifying what you're really afraid of, right? Psalm 34:4 says, I sought the Lord and he answered me. He delivered me from all of my fears, and he does. So take it to the Lord. Ask him for wisdom if you're not sure. He will give to wisdom liberally to those who ask. He says, hey, ask me, I'll give it to you. Look what he did for Solomon. He got wisdom and more. So we got to identify what we're truly afraid of. For many, it's fear of loss, fear of failing, fear of jeopardizing the current status, right? So identify what fear is holding you back. Write it down. Sometimes when we see it on paper, it helps us to like really think about it, What's the fear? Why am I fearing it? What can I do to just kick it to the curb, right? I got to take bold, calculated risks. Isaiah 41:10 says, Do not fear. I'm with you. Do not be dismayed, for I'm your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. He is always with us. He will always help get us through. He said. So we want to of course, take calculated risks. We really want to make sure that we invest in growth and learning. That's a big one. And listen, if you're here watching this, you've already begun. You're heading down the right road. This is part of it right here. Doing what we're doing, watching this, learning, taking notes. It's all here, coming together in a community of like-minded people who want to go higher. Listen, well, of course, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, though it cost you all you have, get understanding. Wisdom and understanding. Number one, always get that from the Lord. And he's going to direct you to like communities like this to help other people, like-minded people who are at the place where you want to go, that'll help you get up there, get past that current level. I mean, it's not just about being at the bottom. You don't have to be at the bottom to be fearful of going higher. You can be at a great place right now where people will be like, wow, you're so lucky, you're so successful, you have all this and that. And maybe that's not where you're supposed to end. You could have like things that you need to be doing at another level, but you're afraid to lose what you have. I mean, it's just part of life, part of being a human, part of what we, battle. So no matter where you are, you're probably going to hit that little bit of fear there for the next level. That's why we're here. And, and if that's the case, you need to find someone who's at that level you want to go to and find out how to get past where you currently are. So, a lot of times, like I said, this means investing in personal professional development, seeking out new training, next level training, hiring a coach, learning a new skill. So, this could be another challenge for you. What skills or knowledge will help you to break through your current ceiling? That's key. And again, surround yourself with next level community, a community that's going to help it. Iron sharpens iron, right? So there's power in community. And we want to seek out, sometimes mastermind groups, mentors, business networks, whatever will help you propel you further. And that also includes sometimes if, of course, if you're a Christian, you want to hang around people of faith who will pray you through, who have faith for you too. Even when you start lagging a little bit, they're like, no, you could do this. Come on. You're going to pray. You're going to pray right now. Those are the ones you want to hang out with, you know, not the ones who are like, well, you tried. No, no, no. No, no, no. God has something for you. He's going to get you through it, and you need people that are going to help bring you up. So that's so important. So again, we want to identify our fears. We want to embrace faith over comfort. We want to take bold, calculated steps. We want to invest in growth and surround yourself with a community of like-minded people. Because look, fear of losing what we have is common. Common, it's not uncommon. You're not the only one. Don't be afraid of what people will say because they're probably thinking the same thing. Okay. And God is calling us to trust Him with greater impact. It's all about our impact, right? It doesn't mean we have to be uncomfortable. He wants more for us, but He wants more for us to give to others as well so they can get past where they are. And I want to really encourage you to just imagine yourself on the other side of where you are right now, the other side of your fear, right? He didn't bring you this far to leave you here. God did not bring you this far to leave you here. He's got plans for you. He's going to help you through it just like He did before. He's faithful. That's why it's so good and important to write down like your testimonies of all the things He got you through. So when you start feeling a little bit of doubt, you can go through that and be like, oh, yeah, He did it before. He'll do it again. Right? He wants us to have impact and make impact. So I just want to, again, encourage you not to let that devil get you in fear or stop you. He's just a lying jerk, and he doesn't want you to have impact. He doesn't want people to get saved, healed, and delivered, set free. But guess what? We can't stand him. So let's just do it. Get past this fear thing and get on to next level and just punch right in the eye, right? So, Lord, we just thank you for the success that you've given us so far. Lord, today we release the fear of losing what we've gained, and we trust that you have greater things in store for us. Lord, give us the courage to step into the next level you called us to in Jesus' name. Amen. And Lord, I just want to thank you so much for being here. I invite you to connect with me, tammyreneefearless at gmail.com, Instagram, Tamster3733. And soon my website is tammyreneefearless.com. That'll be available soon. Thank you guys so much. Love you. Have a great day. I'm so glad you were here. Again, write all this stuff down. Start reminding yourself of all the things that God's done for you. And let that be what helps you to get past this level onto your next level. He's got great, great things in store for you. Great things. And for the ones that you're going to impact. So get ready. Get ready. Love you guys.
Thank you for participating in today's enlightening session. As we transition to our next expert, remember that each strategy and insight is a step toward becoming a transformative leader in your field. Visit connectedleadersacademy.com to stay engaged and informed. The journey of change is ongoing. Let's move forward together.